Hey, there we go. Alrighty, that's probably loud. Let me know how this sounds here. I got this little laptop here. What's up, guys? We're doing some PC building. Yeah, no, it's good. Perfect. Okay, I'll leave it as it is. I know the audio device is really far away in my microphone, but it's probably really echoey. That's alright. I finally got a webcam hanging in my basement, so that's cool. So what's up, TJ and Danny? Yeah, so we're going to be doing some PC building, mostly with this shiny new part here. You guys can't see what it says at all. It says Ryzen, there you go, you can see that, but it's a 5900X, and I got it from Micro Center. They happen to have it in stock. We were going for some 30 series GPUs, but they have this too, so I was like, well, I want that anyways. And then this is my new motherboard that I got for it. Kind of get a better close-up here. It's the MSI Ace Unify, or no, Meg Unify, which is actually the exact same motherboard that's in the PC that's it's past this PC, except it's for X570. So that's pretty sweet. Alrighty, so let's just put in that little CPU. Fortunately, I have no way of getting the camera any closer. This is the absolute closest I can get it. Here we are. So you guys see a gold pin on there. You can't really see it, but that means it lines up with the place here. Slots in nice and easy. There we go. That was easy peasy. So here comes the hard part. I have 3 PCs here, and I need parts from each of them in order to get this to work. So we're going to be disassembling some PCs before we actually get to any of this building, unfortunately. So let me just go ahead and set this down under here. No, that's the way it's sideways. It kind of actually drives me crazy. But yeah, it's sideways. Alright, so this right now was acting as my server computer. And we need the case from it, because this is going to be back to my gaming computer. And I actually do really like this case, although it doesn't fit with all my graphics cards, unfortunately, but we're going to use it anyways for the moment until we can get our new graphics card in anyways. So yeah, let's start undoing it. We lost a screw already. That's good. You want that case? I like this case. This is an ATI Radeon. I don't know if it says the model on here. It's an engineering sample though, so it's not even like a full legit one. I'm pretty sure it's a 7800 or something similar to that. But yeah, it's a total just like engineering sample card. And I literally use it because I need graphics out of my system just for debugging, because this is a 3600X in there right now. And it's got 2 display ports and a DVI. There's no VGA and there's no HDMI, even though this was from 2006 or something like that. Kind of crazy. You're working so you'd be on and off? Sounds good. Yeah, I got this case at the apartment I was in, and you can see it has gotten dusty as shit. Like, look at these fans. They're just dust behind it. I actually got a data vac over here that I'll use to kind of take all that out. But yeah, we're going to be salvaging the case and the cooler. Then we will actually not be using this motherboard like originally intended, since I did get that X570 board instead. But this is an MSI B450M mortar, titanium, and I really like it because it's white colored. So I'll be selling this in my 3600X to someone. Not sure who yet, so we'll see. One of my friends might want to buy that, we'll see. Anyways, we're just going to take out all of our fans here first, because, yeah, I'm actually not sure what this, I guess this, it's plugged into system fan, but I'm pretty sure it was the CPU fan. I guess I was just leaving it running all the time. There's our USB, our other USB, I think, or maybe this is front panel audio. No, this one's front panel audio, I'm not sure what that was. And another fan here, that was a system fan as well, but it was going to this, so I need to definitely have that reconfigured around. You might notice that there's this completely missing fan here. That's because it doesn't fit with my graphics cards. So that's fun. I might have to take out this one as well. I'm not quite sure. I'm hoping that it doesn't need too much cooling, because I won't be able to give it a huge amount of cooling. And here we've got my server memory. It's really slow DDR4, but it's 64 gigs and it's going to an Intel system, so it doesn't matter quite as much. Get these out of here. There we go. Yeah, this is some Corsair Vengeance LPX DDR4 with, these are 16 gig DIMMs, so 64 total with all 4 of them. I guess I'll save this for our server build, so I'll put this down here, since we won't be using it. And then undo these thumb screws, we can see how good my thermal paste application is. You need to figure out how to undervolt your Ryzen 7. It's a big issue for the 5800. Oh, didn't know that. There we go. Yeah, remember you only want these finger tight. You don't want to screw these down or you will break your CPU, so... Let's see how poorly, or how well, I did with this thermal paste application from a year ago, probably. So it's all still going to be fresh, but we're not going to use it. That's pretty good. That's really not too bad. It was a little bit heavy on some parts, but overall, that's not bad. It covered the whole thing. Grab an impact drill. That's a horrible idea. Alrighty, I'm just going to take this out here. We'll clean it later. I forgot to bring down any cloth to clean it, so I'll have to go grab one shortly here. We're just going to leave this in the motherboard because, I mean, I'm not using it, so that'll keep it a little bit safer. We'll probably clean it off before we get it to anyone. Alrighty, and I think the screwdriver is a little bit too small. Grab a slightly larger head. That was a peeled... or a PO00, so let's just do a PO0. Use super glue for your thermal paste like TJ did and the RAM sticker. Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Fantastic idea. Now, I actually remembered to get some thermal grizzly. So I would have done the stream on Wednesday, but we were waiting for it. So I've just had all these parts sitting here ready to go. We're going to need to save all these screws as well, because our motherboard didn't come with screws, so I guess that's the case that came with them. I don't even think we have enough of them, if I'm being honest, but they'll have to do. There'll be definitely some jank here. This? Yeah, this is definitely not a 2070. This is an ATI Radeon, a 5700 engineering sample. You're getting great temps like 90 to 110. Ooh. Yeah, you might need to figure out the undervolting situation there in that case. Yeah, but super glue, yeah, that works fantastic. This radiator is for an NZXT 360 rad for a CPU, and it's got an infinity mirror when it runs, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Okay, we lost a motherboard standoff. Oh, there's one more screw here. Luckily, I think I'll have to be moving them anyways. This is the B450M. Ah, yeah, no, my motherboards are over in this direction. You can't see them, though, because there's a... This computer right here has them inside right now. We'll be doing a case swap here. We'll be doing a whole bunch of swaps, actually. Power supply swap. What else? Motherboard, CPU swap, RAM swap. Storage needs to go from one system to the other. I actually realized the M.2 is still on here. This is my cache drive for my server. Getting 70C underload. Oh, that's not bad at all, actually. It was running 1.4 volts. Oh, that's very high, I'm pretty sure, yeah. Lots of swaps means long stream, yep. Could be streaming at 2 AM? I hope not. I want to play some Smite tonight, hopefully. They're trying to get in-houses going. This is a Crucial P1, and I think it's a 1 terabyte Crucial P1. I love this drive, actually. It's fantastic. But yeah, it's used in my server cache drive, so it's definitely not used up to its potential. That's okay. Well, we got some other great drives as well. in here. Alright, so let's go ahead and take off this plate because I need it for mounting our water cooler. Let's just unscrew those. There we go, and I heard it fall off the back, so that must be good. And this can come out. And I probably should have grabbed a box for this, but I don't have a box for it, so I'm just going to set it down on some nice neutral glass. It shouldn't conduct electricity. This is actually a TV stand here, so yeah, it's got a bunch of different other console things underneath it. I just took the TVs that were running on and off. I've got a big CRT that I use for retro gaming. Yeah, it's such a great SSD, I agree. You beat all your friends? Nice. Yeah, my 970 Evo Plus is just a bit faster, but really not by much. So yeah, it runs great. And this is our doodad here. You can see it's coated here so that we don't get any electrical conductance. You are not supposed to take this off, so don't. So yeah, so a little bit of a side note there, I guess. Here's this guy that fell out of this, I believe. And then we're also doing a power supply swap, so let's get this guy out as well. I'm not sure where the screws are on here. Actually, it's barely got like a screw keeping it in at the moment, so where did my screwdriver go? I might need a PH1 here for this instead of a PH0 screwdriver. P1's cheaper than the 970 Evo. Yeah, but I don't think they make the P1 anymore. I am in my basement. Welcome to the stream, Stu. Not my mother's basement, though. It is my own. There we go. Alright, this is probably the power supply we're not going to use for the moment, and there is one specific reason for that, and that is because it is Seasonic, which I love the company, but their cables are different, so they don't actually fit in most of these. And I don't want to redo all of my wiring, so I'm just actually going to use two Corsair ones instead. Might as well take the rat off to clean under, wipe the whole case down. That's not a bad idea, but I think I'm just going to blow it out. I don't have any water source down here. Actually, I'm going to set this radiator, or the PSU way far away. But yeah, while everything's out right now, that's a great idea to go ahead and bring it down. I'm going to figure out how to mute my mic so I don't destroy your guys' ears with the vacuum, though. Hopefully I don't blow a fuse, because that has definitely happened in the past here, so let me grab that real quick. Let's see. Where can I plug this into? Here we go. There's a random extension cable over here. I'm sure it's plugged into something that is properly grounded, right? Yeah. Alright, I'm gonna figure out how to mute this mic, because you will actually... why do I have headphones on? Because I like listening to the music as well. And I can monitor how the voice sounds and stuff. Okay, so mic's going muted now. Mic is back on. Look at that. Nice and clean. That thing is powerful, that vacuum. You saw all the dust fly. I hope it was quite a bit at least. Yeah, so this is now a clean radiator. I haven't even had this case that long, if I'm being, or not the case, the radiator that long. It was whenever I got my 3600X. So, just a lot of dust accumulates in my room, you know? I'd like to get a dedicated computer room, but it's also my bedroom, so that would be why you guys get all that. Alright, I got a CPU extension cable that we're going to continue using. It looks nice. I also have one for my GPU, and I need to grab that from upstairs, so I'm actually just not going to put it on this stream, and we'll just do that later. Okay, everything is out of the case, it looks like. Yeah, we're good with the case, so it's ready to go for when we put our MSI board in there. But I want to get the rest of the components so we can try firing it up, and that will require taking apart our other computer. Whoa. Oops. I totally didn't realize that this thing was a little caught back there. There we go. Did I get that new Leon Lee case? No. I've got a pretty nice fractal design one though, which you might notice is a little bit taken apart, and that is for a good reason. That is because it is for our server, so we want it to run cold. So like the less parts on there, the better. I dropped something? Oh, that's alright. I'm sure I'll find out whatever it is when it's important. It's just a CPU cable, I think. This is our Wi-Fi antenna. Yes. I mean, it's not really that useful, but we'll have it down here in case I want to run a VM and have it run off different Wi-Fi. This one only does AC Wi-Fi, but our new board does AX. It's a mini. What hasn't come out yet? Oh, this case has came out for sure. Yeah, it's been released. You might notice I have a fan on top here. That's because my RAM that I put in there does not fit because it's my fast RAM, but our slower RAM does fit in there just fine. So that's pretty sweet. Alrighty. Yeah, so I'll take out the screws. We'll put the fan back in where it's supposed to be. But first, we're just going to lay it on its side and grab the graphics cards and all that out. There we go. So this has a custom water loop in it from EK. That's all the parts are from. It's their aluminum line, which I don't think they make anymore. And yeah, I will be continuing to use this as my server computer. And it'll be in this case, but I'm going to need to rerun most of everything in it. So let's get started by taking out the RAM. This is also an MSI Meg board. It's the Meg Ace, which they didn't have the Meg Unify out yet. So basically this is the same thing but with RGB. So it's actually probably a tiny bit nicer than my brand new board, but that's okay. This is my Corsair Vengeance Pro, RGB Pro, and it's got a 3600 timing, and each of these sticks is 8 gigs, so we got 32 gigs total here. Lights up, it looks nice, so we'll use that in our gaming PC. I have not seen the new case that came out though, so yeah. Now we're going to take out our 2 graphics cards that we have in there. They're not running an SLI though, so yeah, there's that. We first of all got our 980 Ti here, which I think I decided to screw in. I probably shouldn't have done that, but we did. So we're just gonna go ahead and unscrew that. Alright, and we can take it out. This 980 Ti has 2 fans because the third one burnt out, so I took it out. It was just running in the middle of it. It has been running and mining since, oh geez, it's been a really long time. 2016, 2015 maybe? It's a pretty great 980 Ti card. I highly recommend it as a Gigabyte WindForce. If you're looking for a 980 Ti, which I understand probably no one is, but yeah, I really like this card a lot. Let's go ahead and set this down. The reason I'm using it, instead of just my 970 Super from EVGA here, or sorry, 2070 Super, not 970 Super, is because the RAM in this 970 Super is not so good, and it crashes, especially in games like Call of Duty and Apex, which I like playing, and it's super frustrating when it does crash because, you know, those are pretty intense games, right? So I use this for mostly RTX functions. Honestly, it could be a 2060 and be just fine for running on there. But the reason I haven't returned this to EVGA is because it's in the step-up program. So eventually it's going to turn into a 3080 at some point in time. So I'm fine just holding out with my 90 Ti. I would trade it out if I was going to run this long term, but I'm not, so it doesn't bother me that much. But yeah, that's our EVGA 2070 Super. I don't know what model it is. I wonder if it says on here. I think it's their black, XC3 black. Just their low-end 2070 Super. But, yeah, doesn't have a backplate or anything. Not my favorite card out there for sure. I don't have anything against EVGA though. I mean, that's the 3080 that I'm getting. So yeah, so we're gonna take out some of this, anything that relates to power, and everything else we're gonna leave on, including our water block and stuff, because I don't want to redo the loop. It does need to be filled up a little bit more, but I don't have any distilled water on me, so yeah. Looks like we're gonna need to take out our radiator though, just so we can get to our power. 8 plus 8 pin power, I think it is. And the CPU in this is an i9 9900K. This is before Ryzen 3rd gen, so this was still the fastest CPU when I bought it. And I actually got it on sale too, which was pretty sweet. I don't remember how much I got it for because it's been a while, but yeah, alright. So power number 1 out. These are hex bolts. Why would they do that? I think I have a hex driver over here though. Give me a sec. Yes, I do. I hope this is the right size. It looks about the right size. Ooh, it is. We're good. It's gonna be a longish stream. Yes, because, yeah, it'll only be long because I'm, doing so much PC. I'm a decently fast worker on these. But yeah, it will be going a bit long, I think. Hope to play some games tonight, though. But I don't have work tomorrow or Monday, so maybe I'll get a stream going when I get all my drivers and all that stuff open. Yeah. The other nice piece of hardware I've got here is my laptop that is streaming this. I think the CPU is really going to struggle, but it's fine, actually. It seems to be running alright. It does not run fine on like our stream starting screens and stuff like that, though, so it's really just for the more simple overlays. It has an i7 6-core of the 9th gen on mobile, so I'm not sure exactly what number that is. And it's got a 2060 in it, mobile chip. So, yeah. There we go. Screw is coming out. Looks like we're gonna have to take off our radiator a little bit too. That's fine. Might want to get this cable out. I'm not sure where it goes to. Play on your data, nice. I want to get a budget gaming laptop with a 1650 or something decent to be able to stream my main PC through a capture card. I see. That could be fun. Although the CPU is going to be probably more the bottleneck. Are these regular screws? No, okay, these are still. That's good. I see someone Discord message me. If that's someone in the stream, you might want to say it in the stream because I cannot get to my laptop to open that. I apologize. If it's someone else, that's okay though. They can wait. Don't they know we're down a PC? And this is probably a good time to undo this radiator so I can clean it as well. I just don't want to get all the tubes like out from their position because I don't want to rebuild it right now. The loop, that would actually be a pretty long stream if had that. Also to play on your data, I see. Yeah, I don't have unlimited data because I don't use that much data. I've got the Project Fi from Google, and so you just pay per gigabyte that you use, and that works pretty slick for me since I only use maybe 1 gig a month, especially since the work from home. But then it allows you to go up from that without paying like a big data overage fee, and it caps it at 6, so it's not really that bad. Okay, time for the data vac again. Let me see if I can get my microphone muted here.
Any direction, I feel it right in my heart. We're gonna be forever. We're gonna be forever. Wherever I go, you stayed with me after all that we've been through. You're always who I end up running to. We saw each other's different points of view. I'm always coming back.
There we go, we got our mic again. I totally realized I read that wrong. That says dad's, the not data. Yeah. You have to bring your PC to your dad, so a laptop would be great. Ah, nice. Gotcha. Yeah, that dust just... No, the vacuum is not on. Don't you worry, I can definitely hear that. These headphones are not even close to noise canceling. These are my Sennheiser HD598 SRs. They're a open back headphone. I love these for the price, but now I think you have to get a 599 SR or SE, because they discontinued this, but absolutely fantastic. I love these. Just me sucking? I see how it is. It's actually not a vacuum though, it blows. I don't know why they call it a data vac. It's an air duster, but whatever. You want one? You legally cannot purchase an air can. That's funny. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so now that's out, and I also can take out these 2 8-pins. That's crazy that it has 2 8-pins, because it's not even close to needed. 1 8-pin is just fine. I don't know how to get these things out. They are so tight in there. Ooh. Pinch! Yeah, this case and that radiator are the same age when I put them in there, so they have never been dusted yet, so that was his initial dusting. Wasn't nearly as bad as that other one, though. That other one, yeah. There we go, we got 1 out. And then, now we gotta get number 2 out. But yeah, these are literally just wired together, so they're the only reason they have 2 8-pins in there is for looks, to make you feel like, oh, my PC's so powerful. But yeah, it's completely useless, which is kind of funny. Alright, we're going to grab our PH00 here, so we can take out our M.2 SSDs. We have 3 of them in here, which that's the main reason why I went with this motherboard, and its equivalent for this new AMD setup. Is for 3 M.2 slots and 2 full-size PCIe, actually 3 full-size PCIe lanes. So I can do 2 times 8x at 4.0, which is double the bandwidth. So this chipset's going to be great. This is our first SSD here. This is our 970 Evo Plus. We have 2 of them in our system. Very, very quick. I really like them. They were $200 at the time of purchase for a terabyte. I think they're only down to like 160 now. It's crazy. Are you still going to run a server on this PC or on a new PC? It will be running on this hardware, which is the 9900K. Currently, well, I guess currently as in before I started the stream, it was actually running on that 3600X that we just took apart. And the reason for that is because I wanted the i9 to play Cyberpunk when it came out, and it did help quite a bit. So this is our other 970 Evo Plus here, 1 terabyte. I'm not running them in RAID, I actually just really like storage, so... This other one we're going to need a slightly larger screwdriver on because they're PH0. So yeah, it will now be running back on the 9900K again. Alrighty, so we got our M.2 Shield Frozer out. That reveals our third SSD, which is our 250 gig 950 Pro. I got this back when I got the 980 Ti, so it's definitely getting there in age. And this is expensive when it first came out too, but yeah. I like it because it's small. It's 250 gigs, right? And I put Windows on there and pretty much just my user data and all that. That's it. So that way, when I reinstall Windows, because I do that every couple of weeks at this point, it feels like. But realistically, once every like 3 months, I reinstall Windows. And it's good to be small, because that's just a lot to do every time. So if I can just wipe this and leave the rest of it for cache, that's great. Yeah, so I guess now we got to get out the hard drive and any other power cables that might be making their way around. So we're just going to move our M.2 Frozer Shield there. And we're just kind of going to leave our things loose here. Hopefully that's alright. 340 for your 970 Evo 250 gig. Yeah, and this is older than that. It was probably about this, well, it was probably about $400 for it at the time. Alright, this is a great case, by the way. I love this case. It's quiet if you put all the pieces on, and it's cool when all the pieces are off. So it's got some like sound deadening and stuff. It's great. And the reason I'm not screwing in the radiator right now is because I need to get all the power stuff out. And they're still pushing through the grommets. Yeah. And we need our hard drive out of here. This is our gaming hard drive. Not that it's fast or anything, but just it has the games on there that aren't on an SSD. So we want to make sure we don't put that in our server. This is a Seagate Barracuda 2TB compute drive. The compute isn't necessarily made for gaming, but it's a little bit. I think it's a 6,800 RPM or something like that. Does that sound right? I don't know. It doesn't say on the front. It probably says it on the other side. So, anyways, it games. We did actually get a brand new hard drive here to put in our server because I am running low on my 14 terabytes. I think I've used 12. So I got a new Iron Wolf NAS drive. That's a 2 gig. Iron Wolf is, you guys probably can't hear me over this wrapping. There we go. Yeah, Seagate Iron Wolf 2 terabyte drive. That's upside down. There you go. And yeah, it's made for NASes because it's got special firmware on there that makes it spin for longer. And this dust is gonna make me sneeze, I swear. But yeah, it'll pretty much constantly be spinning, and it's also made to handle some vibration that you'll get in our NAS-like environment here. Yeah, so fun facts there all around. This power supply is awesome, and I got such a good deal on it. It is like an insane deal. It's probably one of the best deals I've ever gotten on a power supply for sure, though. I can't get this out. Ah! I hate these. Come on. Cable ties. I put this one in backwards, I think. Yeah, if you're wondering who managed to fuck up the cable tie, that would be me. Okay, here we go. They're coming out now. Okay. And it should slide out from here. Maybe. Nope, still something in there. What is this big cable that's still chunking around? Oh, this guy here. There we go. And it's sliding. Okay, and from here I'm just going to undo all the cables that are on it. Just so I can get it out so it's not floating in space. Then I'll grab all the cables. Oh, man. There we go. The reason I thought I saw that wobble, but I think it's just because one of the feet isn't on the table, so it's a bad wobble. Okay, this is the power supply that I got a great deal on. It's an Corsair AX1200i Platinum rated. This thing is crazy, let me tell you. This is easily the best power supply I've ever had. It's heavy though, let me tell you. It is, yeah, it's crazy. It's 1200 watts. I think Seasonic actually is the one that makes it, but yeah, this thing is nuts for sure. And I think I picked it up for 120 bucks. So, amazing deal on it. Almost too good to be true, but that's my power supply, and that's what we're moving over to the gaming computer, because I don't want to redo the cables to work with the Seasonic one that I've got, which is I think only a gold rating. Yeah. And I didn't even get it that long ago either. I think I got it right at the beginning of 2020 or right at the end of 2019. So, yeah, crazy good deal. All right, let's get these cables out of here now. See what's sticking and what's not. Here we go. What is sticking on the big guy? Yep, there we go. And there we go. And I see a power cable here that I'm guessing wasn't plugged in or something. That's our fan controller that's on it. Anyways, it all comes out. There we go. Yep, and then I think these are all just SATA cables hanging in there. We actually got some new SATA cables, so I might replace those in a bit. But now that our power supply and our RAM and our SSDs are out, we can switch over to the new system once again here. So, got the radiator still kind of dangling. We'll put it together later though on the stream, so don't worry. This is just kind of a order to keep me organized. As much as that doesn't sound like the case, it is. I can assure you. There we go. So, with this guy here, we still got thermal paste on. We gotta get it off. And I need to go grab a paper towel for it, so I'm gonna do that real quick. We are back, and I'm hoping that this thermal paste is just dry enough that we can wipe it off without water or rubbing alcohol. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it might just be dry enough for that, so perfect. Looks like it's coming off pretty easy on this copper cold plate. Definitely make sure to give it a bigger rub down after we get the majority of the paste off here. There we go. Grab a new paper towel on. And this will be the one that we really get into it. Make sure it's completely dried up. Music's probably a bit loud here because I turned it up for leaving. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, I just felt it with my finger briefly, and it looks like it's all off of there, so really that's just polishing the copper at this point, so I'm going to call that good. And it's got a whole bunch of cables hanging off of it. Unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. Those cables are just going to hang off. Alrighty, we're going to turn this around, put the motherboard in, and we're going to test it. I think that'll be pretty important to make sure it's working. But we are going to build it in the case just because this thing is basically a test bench. I mean, look at it. It's so open, like, it won't matter that much if something isn't quite plugged in because it's just a test bench, basically. And we got our 1200i AXI to do that. Cool, let me see. Where did I put that? There it is. Which slot? Here we are. Part that we did step 1 on, which is install the CPU. Alrighty, let's get it out of there. This is so heavy. Yeah, this is not a MacBook Pro. You are very right on that. Actually, let me go ahead and make sure that all of our screws are in the right place, because the standoffs are going to be different depending on what type of board we got. Yeah, so we can see this one's used for micro, and this one's used for ATX. So we're actually going to move these ones here. And this one is only used for micro. So we're going to move this one. And this one are used for both ATX and micro, but it's so close together that we're just going to move it down. And that should be much better. Oh my, it's Avid, my lover. Hello. Howdy, Captain Forsaken. How's it going? Yes, Agent is not a MacBook Pro though, but it is white colored, so we got that going for us. There we go. Oh no. Our plate doesn't fit because of this giant bar, so I might need to change it. Ah, it's Helvenetics. Gotcha. How's it going? Yeah, I wasn't recognizing your username. There we go. Let's see if I can unscrew this guy here. Awesome. Alrighty, so we'll put it in, and then we might not be able to put it back, but we'll see. Just make sure all these screws are lining up here. There we go. And it's also just rubbing on there as well. That is kind of unfortunate, but I think it'll fit anyways. But I will be getting rid of this case eventually when we get our 3080, so I can run all 3 fans here, since they don't fit. Let's see if this is the right screwdriver. Nope, let's do the PH1 for this guy. There we go. And we'll put in our corner screws first. That does not fit, does it? Or did it just go in lopsided? That just went in a little bit lopsided, there we go. Right? It's still a little bit big actually, if I'm being honest. We'll see how it goes. Because I don't actually have any extras of these screws. The motherboard did not come with them. Well, it looks like it'll work for most of them though. Yeah, I wouldn't just find in that corner piece, so it might just be that one standoff is a bit smaller than the others. Yeah, you might notice some of them are gold and some of them are not gold, and that's because not all of them came with this board. No ETA on the Go XLR you ordered? Oh. Yeah, I love this thing. Yeah, it's gonna be great, but yeah, it took me I think 2 or 3 months to get it from when I ordered it initially, so yeah, just keep waiting and hold in there and you'll get it eventually. Their support is great, so during their Discord and stuff. Let's see, another one. I think there's just one more, which would be right here. At least that's the only ones we're going to be screwing in, I believe. I think there's actually... Oh, actually there's one more, and it can go right here. Yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, I don't actually have a standoff for that one up there, so we're not going to use it. There we go. There we go. All screwed in. And we already got the CPU in. Let me see where I put our RAM, because we definitely want that. Why do you keep your Breath of the Wild episode 5 next to recommended video? Probably because it was the more recently posted one, I guess. I don't know. Shoot. Where are my RAM sticks? I just had them out. It's Okay, we'll find it somewhere on the setup. I put them everywhere down here, so yeah, here they are. They're hiding under the slower ones for the server. Why not episode 1? I don't know. YouTube doesn't like numbering. That was from so long ago too. Production quality is gonna be nasty on it. There we go. Number 1. Number 2. Do you need to unscrew the sock cooler mount there? You are right, actually. Yes, I should have done that before I screwed in every single screw. You are right. Let me see, on some cases, I don't know if this one offers it, on some cases there's actually a thing where I don't need to redo that all. And now, oop, RAM sticks are still on the board. There we go. Heck yeah, look at that. We can get our plate off. Don't need to redo everything. I knew I liked this case. Here's something. We're using our PH1 screws on there. They're pretty big ones. Come on. Oh, no. Oh. It fell, but I got it. Okay. Now number 2. Yeah, I would have realized that as soon as I went to mount the thing, but that would have been unfortunate. Look at that, came out. Beautiful. This is actually probably the same back plate though, so might have been fine anyways. It looks like the same back plate at least, but we have the different front plate. But I'll use my 3600X. I'm not sure what this one came with, but I have a feeling it wasn't the AMD cooler. Alrighty. Let's get this guy back in here. And I have it standing up here, so it's a little bit hard to see, but it does make it so much easier to screw in. They use the stock backplate. It looks the same. It very well could be, but yeah, we're just going to use this one just in case. Always screw in these little screws. These are kind of funny looking screws, let me tell you. Here they are. I guess that's, yeah, not very close. Yeah, they got this kind of indent where they have a secondary screw there, so kind of funny looking, but where's the last one? There it is. And with Ryzen, your placement of your thermal paste, way more important than an Intel system, because on an Intel, you had everything right in the middle. Like the full CPU package, there's just a small little CPU right in the middle. And you can see if you look up a delidded picture of something like a 6700K, you can see that. But now if you look at a big chip like the Ryzen 9 that I got in there with all 12 cores, there's a whole bunch of those little packages spread out throughout the CPU. So our thermal paste has to also be really spread out through the CPU, especially since this is already soldered in, which is much better for thermal. Cool, so it looks like this is all the way in now. I'll just get this guy out of the way. And we can start with our thermal paste, I guess, after our RAM goes back in. So I just want to make sure that our RAM and our CPU cooler both fit together. So we'll do a dry fit placement first. 2, 3, and here comes number 4. Can I get it? There we go. That is 4 memory sticks. Now we got our CPU cooler here. And let's just dry fit it on there, make sure it does all go down proper. Looks like it all fits. Yeah, Cool. So this is the right plate. I would assume so since it was on a 3600X, but yeah. Alrighty. So I guess let's do our thermal paste run then. And I hope we do a good job because this thermal paste is expensive. It's great, but it's expensive. Where did I set it? There it is. Awesome. Yeah, this is our Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut, and you see this little tiny tube it comes in, like, it's awfully tiny. You can see in my hand there for scale. And it's $10, but let me tell you, this is the good stuff. So, and I dropped it. Excellent. Nothing came out though, so we're good. Alrighty. So some people recommend spreading it on. Some people do a dot in the middle. I like the X with dots around it. So I just gotta have a steady hand while I do it. There it goes. This is what I do on all my CPUs, but I think it's especially important on Ryzen, so. Yeah, and that won't be too much thermal paste. It will spread out and be perfect-ish. And you can see that on my 3600X that we showed earlier. That method does work. Really, if we're being honest, it doesn't really matter, but I prefer to see that method myself, so. Alrighty, so let's see what way do we want this NZXT to face? This way would be ideal. Just like this. This is an NZXT 360 rad, I want to say? Or 370 rad? I don't know. Alright, so we're going to push it on there. So now that our thermal paste has been spread, we can kind of move it around, jiggle it a bit if we want. And then we're going to get our little caps on. Which are... Also, they have a dot for putting in a Phillips screwdriver. Do not do that unless you have some sort of torque checker to make sure it's barely gonna go on. This is especially important on my 6700K because I actually delidded that one. And this was before delidding was super. It was starting to get really popular around that time, I guess, but I didn't have the money to get like a fancy delidder. It's like $80 or something crazy. So I just used a razor blade, and I successfully did it. It worked just fine after. But the pressure that you do to put on, very important. Okay, so we're going to screw this one on to be about thumb tight. Then we're going to do this corner on to be about thumb tight. Then we're going to move here, do this one on to be thumb tight. Then we're going to do this corner one up here. And that's ensuring equal pressure. Let's see. Yep, so thumb tight for each of them, just verify it. Perfect, so that should be a properly mounted CPU there. We will need to put a GPU in there to be able to test it along with our power. And I would prefer to have this radiator plugged in. USB part doesn't matter though, we're going to take it out for the moment. We are just going to test to make sure it posts and update our BIOS. And then we'll get to building the rest of it. This is for the pump. I'm not sure actually how that one goes together. Just as long as our pump runs though. I think we'll put in a fan as well, just in case. Maybe that's for the fans. Let's see. Which one of these says... The lighting here is really harsh. I think I have a phone in here, yeah. Get my CPU fan, here we are. Since it's not a dedicated pump, we're just going to plug it into CPU fan. That would not be this one. Be this one here. And it actually has no fan control because it's just a 3-pin. So, let's get this guy off. There we go. It says iOS 14.3 will be installed later tonight. Cool. Didn't know that came out. Now we're going to do our power supply, and we're just going to have it kind of running right around the side of it. Just kind of sitting here. Yeah, something like that though. It's gigantic, so I actually want to do a test fit here and make sure it will go in. We're going to need to adjust this, but it is adjustable, so Wow, that thing is gigantic. I need a new case for this. We'll do that later. Turn that off. Make sure all of its residual power is drained out by clicking on the self-test button. If your computer doesn't have that, that's okay. But that's the best way to do it, I guess. Alrighty. So this end goes into our motherboard here. And I'm just going to do this on top of the case, just so we can get it tested, then I'll run everything properly. And then we can find on here where everything goes. So we've got our CPU would go in this way. 24-pin ATX. There we go. And we can get our CPU plugged into it, which our CPU cable is this one? Nope, that's PCIe. That's SATA. I think we'll actually want that SATA one. CPU. Awesome. And we're going to plug them both in, even though it only needs one. Just because it will at least kind of look nice. But yeah, since it's 8-pin already, we don't need a second 8-pin. There is absolutely no reason for that, considering how they're wired. There we go. And then we're going to do the other one, just in case. CPU, perfect. And then for reliability, we're going to use my good old reliable 980 Ti to test the graphics. Make sure everything boots. The 3600 or the 5900X, most Ryzens, if I'm being honest, do not actually have. Oh, this doesn't fit. Our chiller gets in the way, I think. Okay, that'll be interesting for later then. Guess we will use our not quite as reliable 2700X. We'll deal with that not fitting later. Okay. So we got that plugged in. And I have a capture card around here with HDMI. That's how we're going to output this. I don't have a monitor down here, so we're really relying on the capture card working here. Let's see. Now I need PCIe pins. I think these are both PCIe. Yeah, this one is. This one is as well. Perfect. I have this one already kind of broken apart for its 3-pin power needs there, and then the 4-pin on the other side. We're just going to plug these into spot 8 and 7. That'll work fine. Then we're gonna get one SATA thing. I actually don't have any any sort of SSD in there, but we're not testing that right now. We're just gonna make sure we can post and get to BIOS. And this I'm just gonna plug into the CPU cooler needed a SATA, so that's the main reason I wanted to test that. There we go. Alright. So it's all plugged in except for power now. I guess I can use that one that the data back was going on and hope that it's got enough power. So yeah, let's see what happens there. Let me just grab our power cables. Alrighty, that is wired around. Perfect, alright, let's see if it posts. Just get this set in a place where I can actually plug the power part in. This is gonna get stuck on a fan, guaranteed. So if we hear a loud whirring noise, don't worry. Where did I put that? There it goes. Fell down. And now, one more cable is our HDMI. And if normally, if you're not streaming, try to find a monitor instead of a random capture card, but it should be alright. Just hoping it recognizes its post resolution, basically, that it's running in. That's my main concern with using a capture card for it. But yeah, let's go ahead and switch over to that. I can borrow you a monitor. I've got monitors, but they're all upstairs, so. Alrighty, power's on. We got a light here. Let's go ahead and press it. It's lighting up for sure. It's very, very vibrant. I don't have a keyboard plugged in either, so it's probably gonna yell at me about that. You can see our postcodes running through here. I do want to update the BIOS before we go too much farther. One sec, you'll bring it? Okay, sounds great. Alright, it seems to be stuck on that 0D. I did bring down the manual just so I could figure out what each of those mean. Where did I put the... So I just want to figure out what that 0D means in here. Got our MSI motherboard. Okay, let's see. Installing. There's my debug codes. BIOS setup. Installing. Debug LED code table is 34 on this. Here we go. So we've got a 0 and then a lowercase d, which says reserved for future AMI sec error codes. Wow, that's useful. Maybe that's something else. Is it upside down? P0? I don't know. Let's go ahead and check out there's a little tiny code here too. It's the first one, which is, I believe, CPU. And I think that could be because our BIOS is not updated, so we can do mFlash instead. So let me go ahead and turn this guy off then. It might be trickier than I thought, so let's see. There we go. How are your LEDs still lighting up? There you go. Okay. So yeah, that's my guess, is that it's just a BIOS issue, but we're gonna go ahead and just quickly reseat our graphics card just in case. And our RAM sticks. Just in case, you know. Okay, if this can get in here. And the back. There we go. Okay, those are all back in. We'll try one more time, and if it doesn't work, then we will go to updating our BIOS. A6, 0D. Seems to be staying on that 0D still and not cooling down any of the fans. Still running at full speed. So yeah, let's go ahead and do a BIOS update then. Kind of unfortunate because I don't necessarily have the best recommended card for it. Actually, let me see one more thing. Let's just wiggle that down. And we'll just clear the CMOS first. Just to make sure. Because this was a used board. Okay, now we're clearing CMOS. See how that goes. Alright. And just since I really don't have that USB drive handy, we're also going to try the other card, graphics card, or without a graphics card, and see if somehow that is the issue. I seriously doubt it, but you never know. So we won't have any display output here. Just gonna set it down. See if we get a different error. Because you never know, that card is slightly faulty, so. Alright, yeah, looks like it does not want to start for us. That could be a P0 if it's upside down. Which I'm not sure what it said for P0, but it looks like a 0D unless they did stick it in upside down, which would be ridiculous. I'd be kind of angry. Fairly confident that's the CPU light though, so let's go ahead and get a drive to be able to update that. I think I have an SD card that would read it, but I don't know where my SD card reader is. I think I have it upstairs. Because it needs to be a smaller than 16 gig drive, and it needs to be USB 2. And luckily for me, I've got a GameCube over here that... Actually, you know what? I might have an old Xbox update stick. Let's find out. Ooh, I do. Heck yeah, look at this guy. It's a SanDisk Cruiser SanDisk Cruiser Blade 4 gigs. So yeah, that'll work for us. Yeah, we'll be sure to use that. I think I need to unplug something for it to work though. Let's unplug our capture card, I guess. There are not enough USB ports on here. Okay, USB drive. Perfect. Then switch it to this, but I don't have a... Actually, can I just do a window capture here? Screen capture. Let's see. I can show you guys how to do this. Might be useful to someone. Display capture, here we go. Yep, the only display I have. Please do capture it. No? You're not gonna just capture my only display? Okay, that's a bit weird, but cool. Guess it does not want to capture. Unfortunate for us. Alright, anyways, I'll just explain what I'm doing. I'm going to MSI's website. Then I'm going to their, actually I'm going to search for this motherboard in particular. X570 Fi. There we are. And then you can go to their support tab, get BIOS, and download the latest one. It looks like it was released less than a week ago. Cool. Then we're gonna extract it. I use 7-zip, like 7-zip. Then we're gonna rename the BIOS file into msi.rom. And then we'll say, yes, we do want to change that name for sure. And we'll copy it over to our USB drive, which looks like we got a format first. We'll just call it BIOS. And FAT32 is the one that we want. I think this is formatted with the Xbox file system right now. Which I think they name XFS, which is really confusing because it's, it might be XNTFS though. I don't remember. It's for the original Xbox. So. Alrighty, now that it's on there, we're going to eject this safely because we're doing a BIOS update. And if you didn't know, BIOS, really important not to get screwed up. Which might be what this person did on this motherboard previously. We'll find out. Alright, it is safe to eject. We can also try with a really basic graphics card too, but I really doubt that's the issue. Alright. Plug in our little MSI. There's a special USB port on the back that it needs to go into. Next, we need to make sure there's power. Then we're going to click on the BIOS update button. And we'll just let it do its thing, I believe. Yep, here it goes. It's doing its thing. Yeah, and then after about like 10 seconds, I think a light starts blinking. I'm not sure which one. Yep, this one over here. And that means it is in BIOS flashback mode successfully. Cool. And then I think it also means it recognized the file. And then it'll start blinking faster later on when it's actually writing. So I'll let you guys know what it sees. Let me bring this back to full cam as well for y'all. There we go. You can all see this. Yeah, just staying at 00. I don't see any other devices blinking. It really just seems to be this back one, which I believe is just writing. And I believe this can take up to 7 or 8 minutes, so grab your popcorn. I might grab a seat here. Yeah, it can seriously take a while because it's using its chipset to update. Which, if you think about it, it's kind of crazy. There's no CPU in here. I mean, there is an actual CPU in here, but theoretically, there's no CPU in here, and it can still do this. So yeah, we'll just let it keep going. I think it shuts down when it's done as well, so yeah. I guess we'll just chill and listen to the music. And if you guys have any questions for me about computers, about anything, about life, you guys can let me know. I'm not going to answer the meaning of life, though. It's all up to you. Still blinking. It is now blinking faster, so it is definitely writing. So that's good. I guess we did it right. Anything on there? Nope. Still getting its update going. Still blinking. Don't worry. This is a YouTube video, I would speed it up, just do a little time lapse of it updating, but nope, you got to watch this in real time. You're excited for your GPU? Kinda spent more than I wanted, but is what it is. Oh, did you get one? Did you get a 3080? You have returned, welcome back. Since we're chatting, oh, it looks like it just finished. Heck yeah. We're doing some BIOS updates using the flashback thing, and it seems to be taking a little while. You got the 3080? Heck yeah, dude. Nice. Hey, it's doing stuff now. This is good. I don't have a graphics card in here, so we can't actually see what's going on, but it looks like our BIOS update fixed whatever was going on. So I'll let it go through its thing and then have it complain about not having a GPU. Might be D6, that might be the error for it, but let's see. I can't read it. It's so tiny. Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I'm excited for my 3080 whenever I can get it. Yes, it is the second light, and that is a complaint about VGA. Probably because there is no graphics card in here, so let's go ahead and power down. This is a great sign. Yeah, for the Win 3 Ultra, that's what I'm getting too, dude. I'm excited for it. The one with the backplate or the one without the backplate? Let's see if I can get this stuck in here now. And then plug this guy in. Oop, that's not HDMI, that's a display port. There we go. Now it's in. Alrighty. Let's power this puppy up. See if we get a display output. Half of this could be the graphics card if it doesn't do anything, but we'll see. Looks like, yeah, it just didn't recognize Ryzen 5000 out of the box, so good to have. It's doing things. It's doing a lot of things. It's posting twice. We'll see. I probably should have plugged in a keyboard to it. Actually, yeah, where did I set my keyboard after I took it off? There it is. 02. I don't know what that means. I think it's just running. And we just don't get an output from our graphics card because we unplugged our graphics card actually because we needed to get a spot for a USB. No wonder we can't see anything. Wow, okay. Amazing. What are you planning, right? Let's plug in our graphics card. Nice, you got the one with the... That's the same one I've got actually. Coming eventually with the step-up program. So, yeah, let me know how you like your performance. I'm super excited for it. Okay, let's just get our capture card up and running again. Right now it's just going to show a webcam view of me there, but yeah, we just needed to go to, hey, look at that, we posted! I can't see half of that because I can see the exact same thing that you guys can see. It says something about press enter setup to configure your system though, so let me go ahead and plug in a USB keyboard and mouse. Poggers indeed. But this is YouTube, so. Alright, press enter. F1 or F2? I'm not also positive that this keyboard's on, so. Or that. Oh, yeah, there it goes. It went in. Yeah, look at that in the corner. Got a Ryzen 9 5900X. Our RAM's a bit slow, but I think we just need to enable an XMP profile on it. But yeah, that means it worked. And we're getting the display output into our capture card. It's a miracle. Let me turn off my little overlay and stuff I have because I want to be able to see what it says over there as much as you guys do, probably. I don't know where that's hidden. This one? Nope. Maybe? That's some of it. Some more of it. There we go. Yeah, we got our BIOS now. Memory. We got all 4 sticks, so we just need to run XMP on them. Looks like it detected our 3600. This is the same XMP profile, so let's turn on XMP. So now it's on 1, or is that what that means? That's 2? Yeah, doesn't matter though. So now that it's on, we'll go ahead and reboot and see what they report as. There's no SSD or hard drive or anything like that in there, so it should just pop us into BIOS regardless. There we go. Show me anything. Meg. Nice. And we got 3600 megahertz. CPU's running at 3.7 gigahertz, which I think is his base clock speed. So, yeah, 12 core processor up and running. We don't have anything else necessarily in this computer to check, so I guess we just go back to taking it apart and putting it back together for a second time now that our BIOS update worked. I was a little bit nervous for a second there, I won't lie, when it didn't work, but yeah, I guess it just does not support Ryzen 5000 right out of the box. And our BIOS update was able to make that happen. And I've also never done that MSI BIOS flashback, I think is what they call it, but it's just updating the BIOS without a CPU. That's pretty nutty to me, so. Alrighty, let's go ahead and turn it off here. Capture card, just continue to display it, there we go. Full cam again. I just turned it off. Cool! We have a working system, this is great. Now the only thing I'm concerned about is my second graphics card. I don't know if it'll fit. So that'll be interesting because of this giant cooler on it. So let's go ahead and unplug these. There we go. Let's go ahead and unplug this. Ugh. Yeah, for whatever reason they made a For the Win 3 Ultra without a backplate and then one with a backplate, and I don't know why they would bother making one without a backplate in 2021. So I guess we can set that here. Get everything else plugged in. Let's do some test fitting with our 980 Ti, see if we can get it to fit in any slot. So here was our first initial slot with the problem, which you can see part of our thing here does not quite reach. Not sure if that's our back plate. Looks like it's all kind of right there. So let's see if one of these slots fits it. This one won't fit because of our fan, so I guess we can take out our fan and see if I can move the fan to the middle or something here. Yeah, if not, we'll have to not be playing any more Apex or COD until our 3080 comes in, which, knowing me, probably around March, maybe April, that we'll actually get the card in. Still waiting on that step up. Actually, I could use vertical mounting if it doesn't work. This case does support it, I just need to find its hardware. We won't be doing that on this stream because I have no clue where the parts are. I have them, just not sure where. Yeah, we can totally vertical mount if it doesn't fit at all. So let's see. Fit in our bottom slot. Hits the radiator, but it would fit if not. Middle slot would probably be this. Oh, did it go? Not quite, okay. Oh, it's so close though. This thing is just so long. So that's in the radiator. I wonder if this first one isn't fitting because of the radiator too then. Yeah, it's the radiator, it's not the motherboard. So, good news and bad news in that case. But yeah, I can just vertically mount it, so I don't think that'll be a huge issue. We'll just use our 2070 Super in the build today, and then we'll put in our 980 Ti later. Just off stream or something. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and check out what these M.2 slots look like now. So it's 2 screws for each of them. That's might be overkill, but... Oh, does this support 2? Or is that the new PCIe Gen 4 look? I'm not really sure. Anyways, we're just gonna stick our 950 Pro up in the first slot. It's a huge slot. I think it fits 2. Let's see. No. Okay, that is just a new slot connector. Okay. Yeah, that must be the new PCIe Gen 4 slots look like. It was just gigantic. Interesting. Anyways, that would go just in like that, but I think that it'll actually just get secured using this, which makes for a really easy mounting for our M.2s. How close am I to being done? We're just about done with PC number 1, and then we'll move on to PC number 2 pretty shortly after. I'm guessing you're wondering for Smite. If you're wondering in terms of game numbers, maybe 3, maybe 5, something like that. Yeah. But we did finish our heart-breathing moment of seeing if it would post, and it did. An hour and a half or more, yeah. Okay. Now we got our two 970 Plus, or 970 Evo Plus, I mean. And yeah, these are all PCIe Gen 4 slots, it looks like. That's a huge connector. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's a little bit hard to see even for me. Yeah, I also have to reinstall Windows, and probably have to reinstall Smite PTS, because I think I had the PTS on my tiny SSD. Although I probably shouldn't have. So I'll install that onto a bigger one. Yeah. New CPU means definitely getting a new install of Windows, for sure. Actually, I didn't see... Oh, that was plastic, wasn't it? Shoot, I gotta take off the other one. Yeah. So, 970 Evo Plus number 2. SSD number 3. There's only one M. No, they all are. That's the crazy thing. I think that's just because this is such a high-end board. This retails for, I think, $400, but I got half off-ish. Because I bought used. It was Amazon refurbished or whatever, so it's not necessarily the best refurbishing company, but hey, it worked. And if it doesn't work, I get free returns for a long time, so they give you, I think, a year to return it or something because it's Amazon's refurbishment. Shoot, I just dropped the M.2 screw. I don't know where that went. That's unfortunate. Alright, maybe chat's, you guys see it fall anywhere? It's not in there. I did not see it fall. So right now we're gonna stick this in here and just use one screw, and then I'll tip it up and we'll see if it appears somewhere. Yeah, we'll have to see if all of these are detected, because I know these slots are a little bit finicky. I guess we can use another M.2 screw that we had in our old board or something. That's too far down. Yeah, let's use another M.2 just for the moment so it's in there solidly. So we actually got 2 more M.2 screws with this board, so I'm not super worried about running out. I think if all of them are installed, they run at PCIe Gen 4 times smaller number instead of the full speed. But since they're Gen 4, it's double bandwidth anyways, so. Okay, it is not on the case, which is slightly more concerning actually. Put this back down. I realize our HDMI cable is still tangled up in that. Alrighty. Oh, is this it? I happened to find it on the concrete. Woo! No, I'm an advocate for Crocs. I'm not an advocate for socks and Crocs. I don't really care if you're wearing socks with your Crocs, if I'm being honest. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, I'm just a big advocate for Crocs. I never wear socks. Okay, now let's go ahead and get SSDs are mounted. Let's do our big power wiring. This is gonna kind of suck. I'm not actually sure if this power supply is gonna fit, if I'm being honest. We'll have to see. Because I don't really want to wire up another one. You always wear socks? Well, I mean, I'm not against socks. I'm just like, yeah, why would I bother with socks? Crocs keep you warm. You don't need socks to do that. I am wearing Crocs though. These are leather Crocs, so don't worry. Alrighty. Let's see if this thing, first of all, fits the power supply for the bracket part. It's kind of a thin bracket. Alright, that part fits, so we're good there. Now we can take off our other case's mounting mechanism. That's still on here. I really like this mounting mechanism. I would way prefer if this case had the mounting system that this one does, but there we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, so this system goes with the other PC that we'll get together at some point. Let me set its screws on it so that we don't lose them. Where did our Seasonic go? It's way over here. And it is missing a lot of screws and slightly bent, so it's really at its last life, really. But we'll make it work. One of them fell out. That's unfortunate. I wonder if this is a screw for the power supply itself. I'm not quite sure. Anyways. Yeah, we don't need this at all. We do need that bracket. Wow, that bracket. I don't even know if that's gonna fit. I guess we could do it this way. Then it should fit a few screws, yeah. Oh boy, that's a tight fit, but that'll work. Okay. that screw in here. There we go. Screw number 1 in. That's the hardest one, right? Honestly, I might just keep this at 2 screws and not look for the other one, because this, yeah, it doesn't really fit. Socks and Slides is game of the year. Nah. Or greatest of all time, whatever that says, yeah. I was watching this Game Awards is still stuck in my head somehow. It's greatest of all time. Nah. Just Crocs. Crocs on their own. If you want to put socks in them, I guess you can, but whatever. Oh boy, that is a gigantic card or power supply, but it does fit actually. I'm not sure exactly where this will line up for us, but it does work. It does line up. Let's go right here. This looks like a good place for... Oh, wait, maybe that won't get the second screw. Oh, it's right here, isn't it? Yeah, okay. There we go. So that means this will go in like this. And I'm not sure where I set those screws earlier. There are way too many screws up here, let's be honest. I guess I could maybe use these ones. Let's see if they fit. Since we're not going to use them anyways. Yeah, they do. Okay. Yeah, we'll use these. These are pretty strong screws, so. A little bit long. This is for our bracket that we're not using, so. I actually did find my stock 3600X cooler as well. So, when I sell that, I can sell it with the stock cooler on it. Means that these screws should fit as well. Such a beefy power supply though. Still amazed I got it for the price I did. I think what did I say before? 120 to 160, somewhere in that range. Even then, at the top 160, it's still an amazing deal, so. For a 1200 watt platinum power supply with smart features. Alright, now we gotta route it. And this is the part that's gonna kinda suck. So let's go ahead and unplug some of this. Just since I think I can fit it through better. Coming up and then in. Yep, there we go. Okay, so some of these are gonna be a little tight. Just a little bit. This one is a PCIe, we'll leave that one for later. This is CPU one, here we go. Alrighty. So, this one might not be quite long enough to find out. I'm just gonna run it all the way through that grommet so that it just has the edge peeking through here. Just enough so I can actually bend around to this corner. There we go. And then one more CPU one we'll grab for the moment, just so that we can get it all hooked up. That's another PCIe. I forgot how many PCIe cables I had. There's 4 of them in there. There we go. This one should be CPU, yep. So we'll run it through. Yep. And then we will stick it right here on the top half. There we go. Okay. Let's flip it up. and run those cables now. You can see it come up through here. They might actually just reach, if I'm being honest. Yeah, especially if I run them underneath. There's this little bar here you can see that sticks out. I run stuff underneath there. I think it's mostly for hard drive parts, but we only have one hard drive going in there, so let's go ahead and at least get some of our cable wiring clean. Right? That should work. Number 1 going through. Actually, let's do number 2 first. I can get it to fit through the case. Okay. This does not want to fit through, let me tell ya. It's a beefy cable. Doesn't want to fit. Let's see on this way. Going through. There we go. Okay, and then we're just gonna wrap it around. Get that plugged in. We'll do the other one as well here. Let's see. How do I get that through like this? I think. There we go. Kinda hurts my fingers to do that. And that cable run is just long enough where it works. I do have extenders just in case those didn't, but doesn't look like we're gonna need them. And I actually really like these cables the Corsair came with. They're actually like a decent sleeved cable, like not bad looking at all. They're not they're a group sleeve, not individually sleeved, but seriously not a bad cable. Let's see. It's probably gonna be the hardest one to fit through, so I guess we'll do that now. And we're gonna run it through the back into the front. There we go. It does fit, just barely. And you can't see it on this side, but I am just sticking it in there, so just plugging in the cable. There we go, that's number 1. Number 2. And then looking at the front of it, I'm thinking this one could also go underneath this big plate. On this side of them, though. Yeah, it's like this area was just kind of made for cable organizing, so that works. And I think this middle slot, well, actually, let's do one up here. Yeah, right here. This will work perfectly. And I have this vertical just because it is significantly easier to actually work with. Unfortunately, I don't have a front camera for it. But
I don't have an answer for that.
I didn't ask anything, Siri. Thank you very much. I guess now that's left would be our SATA and our PCIe. So yeah, actually that was fairly easy to wire up, wasn't it? Let's run 2 PCIe for the moment. We're not going to stick our 980 Ti in there until I get it vertically mounted, so. Let's and see if I can fit it through this grommet and back. If you guys want any cable management tips and tricks, the first one I'll give you is take it one cable at a time, and then they'll all somehow work out in the end. So this one I'm going to stick through the metal slot, which I'll show this in just a second once they are through. But yeah, cable management can be incredibly difficult, or it can be easy. It really depends half on your case and half on your patience. I mean, I could just stick it all and plug it in like I did with the initial test, but that was just because it's a test and cable management does not matter during a test. Don't clip that out of context. I said when you're doing a test, it doesn't matter. I need my aesthetically pleasing cables at some point. Alright, we got 2 PCIe cables routed. So now I think we just need to do hard drive, SATA, all that jazz. I wonder if I have a clip, because I used to have a clip that goes with this, and I think it's just over here, so let me double check. I think it's not that one. Oh, of course, it's on one of my hard drives right now. Let me just take it off real quick. It's on my newer WD Blue drive. Looks like I'm gonna need a screwdriver, but it's pretty far away, so I'm not gonna drag it over here. I do kind of want to show this area off, though. I've got this new hard drive rack, but I'm not gonna move it because it's a whole bunch of hard drives that I don't want to move, right? Makes sense. There we go. I got it for us. And there's the screw for it. There we go. Did I miss any chats? Nope. Cool. Excellent. So this thing is a little bracket. Basically, it'll go on the hard drive, and it'll just slide right in here, screw it in. That easy. Looks like actually one of them's still in there, so yeah. Screw in this side's thing there. Alright, now we're going to stick in our hard drive. This is our gaming hard drive, which is our Barracuda Compute. Which is also in the wrong bracket. You can see the hard drive here. Flip it over, it's black, and it's not supposed to go in this case. It's supposed to go in the other case. So let's go ahead and unscrew this guy as well. I'll set these screws here. I do like this mounting system a little bit better, but that's alright. On the server, I've been keeping the hard drives outside of the case now. And that is for one reason. I just got this hard drive rack, so yeah, we actually probably won't end up using this. No, we definitely won't use it. Just kidding. It's not broken. There we go. Let's get these guys screwed back in on this hard drive. Looks like it goes in this way. Not quite. It actually goes in this way, so the hard drive side into the bracket. Guess the entire thing's a hard drive, you know. You know what I mean. Hopefully. Come on. Alrighty, that's screwed in number one. The other one, we like to balance these out, so I'm going to stick it in the back one here. So the other PC mounted underneath the desk, no cases needed. No, the hard drive in particular doesn't need. I'm gonna put it in that other case that's sitting right there with the 9900K in it right now. The actual hard drives don't need it though. There we go. Okay, so this one, if you can see right, the SATA and the power will be facing down in here. So we're just gonna go ahead and slide it into place for the moment. Let's see, how does that go? This way? Yeah. Then it just kind of folds up. There we go. And then I need that captive, not captive screw, which is unfortunate. I think they should be captive, but there we go. That just screws on in. hard drive is stuck. I should don't tap your hard drives. Not the best idea. Yeah. So now everything that's left is all related to the cables of the case. I have them all sitting right here in a bundle. There we go. So we got our USB 3. I hate this connector with a passion. It is awful. We've got our case power connector. Got a USB 2, which is for the front, and HD audio for the front as well. So let's go ahead and we'll also have to do fans in a sec as well, but we can wait on that just for a little bit. Oh, and we also have this guy, which is our USB 2 cable to our LEDs for the NZXT cooler. Alrighty, so our USB 3 on the case is at the bottom, so we're going to stick it through, maybe not quite the bottom socket, but we'll stick it through, there's another socket right around here-ish. Yeah, and we'll stick it through there. We're going to put a lot of them there, I believe. Alright, what's next? And then we'll set it on its side and we'll wire them. Show you where they are on this motherboard. This is a USB 2. I think you can come out of the same hole. Danny is in and out. He's going between work and not work, so. HD audio, I believe, is also on that side. And then I did see this, the front panel connectors are not where they usually are on other cases, so I'm going to go ahead and throw it up to the first bracket that our PCIEs are coming out of. So I can grab it. And then feed them through. We'll also probably put a SATA cable through there. Maybe I'll do that right now. I've got an extra unwrapped one, actually. Whoop. There you go, this is an angle bracket. Hi, haven't attempted it in a little bit. Gotcha. Let's do the flat side here. Now this thing, I don't know what MSI was thinking, but they put 4 SATA ports. 4! I mean, I guess, yeah, SATA ports aren't used nearly as much, but 4 is just not a very large number. To put it in context, the Z390, the same board, has 8, so yeah, that's kind of ridiculous, but rant over. Let's go ahead and set this on its side and we can start sticking everything through. This is for our hard drive. We'll wire it in a bit. Not quite yet. So let's grab our screwdriver. And it goes down. Which I kind of want to put in that metal bar at some point as well again. See if we can get it to fit on. That would be unfortunate if it can't. Alright, HD audio. Let's look. This one here is HD audio. There's a missing pin and a blocked out pin to match. Plugs in. Great. And then as soon as we plug all these in, we're just going to yank them on the other side and that'll kind of get them in position. We'll do the USB 3 last here. Let's do a USB 2 header. Here's one of them. Just goes in. Pretty easy. We got our USB 3 one here. Broken so many motherboards with this USB 3 connector. It's awful. Alright, so all those are in. Here's where we routed our PCIe to earlier. And this is where I put our front panel connector, which goes right here for some reason. Instead of being on the bottom over here, it goes up here. It's a little bit different than normal. And also, they're labeled, but in such an awful font, you can't read them. So I need to grab the manual. Where did I set the manual? That's the real question. I don't know where I set the manual. That's unfortunate. Huh. I guess we can try to read the text. Alrighty. And this is our USB, I believe, so that won't matter. Alrighty, let's see if we can just read it on the motherboard. This they could make into a speedrunning attempt. It's just getting these stupid connectors plugged in properly. Alright. First is power LED plus and minus. And of course those are the split connector in here, so let's go ahead and reorganize these so they're together. Alrighty, and they were doing a plus then minus configuration, so go ahead and plug those two in here. This is the hardest part about PC building, is this stupid connector. Alrighty. Power switch, plus minus, although actually there's no such thing as a plus minus for the power switch, it's just a bridge. So we're just gonna set them together like this. There we go. And then below it is hard drive LED plus minus, which is this guy here. And on our thing, you can't see it because it's way up there. It says plus minus on it, so. But they're together, unlike the power switch. I don't know why they have that separated on this case. And then it's reset switch right next to it. There we go. All connected. Yep. Yeah, that is. Oh, we actually were off by one on our LED. There we go. And then we look on this side, make sure it matches. Perfect. Alrighty. That looks good to me. So now the only other thing we have is that USB connector that goes onto our NZXT here. And then we also need to route this SATA back. And I believe this goes to our fans, or at least our fan controller, so we'll also route those back. Let's go ahead and route them back through the CPU connector. This might be too far, so we might need to reroute them through the front of the case. We'll see. And here's our USB 2 connector and header. And this cable sucks, right? You cannot get it into a good area. Because it needs to get all the way down here. And like, there is nothing you can do to make that run look nice other than wrap it around a couple of times on the cooler here. I kind of was wishing there was another USB 2 header, just one more, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get that, so I might run one of these. Anyways, here it goes down. I like to route it kind of just right around the chipset. And onto the connector. And then this case doesn't have any USB Type-C connector, but there is a Type-C header, which they only put that on the higher end boards at the moment. Hopefully those will be on every board eventually, but yeah, just at the moment it's not on every board, so let's make sure. I think that's all our cables, so let's stand it back up. I just heard a screw fall. That's good. Gotta love it. And we're just going to push through all of our cables into the back here. And I would say cable management doesn't matter in the back, but it kind of does. And here's the reason why. If you don't manage it right, the back won't go on. And that is the exclusive reason right there on why it does matter. Okay, so now we're just going to grab more connectors. You can't see them because they're just underneath this black plate. I also cannot see them. But we'll just make sure they're as short as they can be on the front so that we don't see them. So a whole bunch of connectors here that can also come out. Here's our giant USB 3 connector. You can see them all here. There's just a lot of them. A lot of extra cable for those. And then we got our two PCIEs on the front. Trying to see if we're missing anything. I think we just gotta run our SATA cable now. And SATA power. Let me grab the SATA power cable right now. And you can see how this thing is bent. That's because I had it in my server at one point and it was powering all those hard drives. Kind of silly looking now. Alrighty, and these are going to go through that same little slot, which is getting oh so crowded now with the grommets. Ooh, yeah, how do I get this through? There we go, number 2, number 3, number 4, so you can run up to 4 hard drives on this. Or in our case, we're going to run an LED and 1 hard drive. And now I am facing directly away from our audio source, so sorry if it's a bit hard to hear. We are going to undo our hard drive, take it out. Luckily it's super easy to put in and out, so just take it out for the moment. And then we'll wire up our cable to it. If we can get one of them up there. Excellent. We're going to try to put our second one on it instead of our first one, because the first one we'll just use for this cable here. But we're not going to plug that in actually until I can get the other SATA cable. It's right here, plugged into the hard drive. Like so. There we go. What's this? Oh yeah, that's our extra fan header connector. And this can slide in here, along with our other PCIe cable. Like I said, the case, actually the prettiness doesn't matter, but our cable management kinda does. So, just so that we can make sure it all fits in the end. Oh, we missed one of our pins here. Let's see. That's it. It's a little bit hard to move now with all the cables there, but there we go. Hard drive is in. Should be the last thing we need in this computer besides actually putting the graphics card in, which should be easy peasy. And the fans, I guess. Which I guess could be our source of trouble. Who knows? This case doesn't really need that many fans, so. The case itself has no fans. Alright, let me see how long this 2070 Super is in the front of it. See if we can fit three fans in it. Looks like we can. Fairly easily, actually, so. We'll put all of our radiator fans back on. I'm not sure where my extra one is, though. I think it's up in my room. So we'll have to do that bit later. Not on stream. Cool, now I just need the thumb screw. There it is. For our graphics card. You guys already watched me mount it once, so I'm just gonna do it here. This is gonna be a snazzy looking computer. There you go, one of the PCIs is done. Now we just gotta do number 2. We're just gonna push that cable through so we don't see as much of it in the front. Cool. And then we got one of our fans here. So I guess we'll stick it on here if this is the same connector. Looks like it is. This is supposed to go to a fan controller, but I don't think I have a fan controller. Actually, that doesn't look like what that's for. I'm not sure what that connector's for. RGB header, probably, actually. Well, we're not going to use RGB, so we'll just wire these along the fan headers on the front. While this is up, though, let's go ahead and stick this bar back on. I'm not sure where the other piece of it went, though. What does it look like on this side? Just a giant screw. Okay. Where is our screw? It was gigantic. Maybe that was the thing you heard falling earlier. Ah, I see it. Actually, it did not fall. Ah, it does fit, just barely. That is super close, though, to not fitting with that motherboard. Make sure all these other ones are also tight. Cool. And we'll just do our fans now. Perfect. So you can see how it looks on the front. Not bad. This is a fan cable. It won't be sticking there, obviously. But yeah, overall, it looks really clean, I think. So yeah, we'll just plug these into really wherever. It might be case fans, but like, I can configure the fans later in software, so. I'll just screw this guy in. Using the screws that it came with. If I can remember which ones those are. These are Phillips. So they're not these hex screws over here. So I must have set them over here. Maybe. Let's see. I think I found them. Not bad, that's not long enough. Oh, maybe I didn't find them, these aren't long enough. Ah, here we are. It seems to be going in, but I'm not sure if that's the right hole, actually. I don't think it is. Let's see. Yeah, it should go to this hole here. There's two right next to each other for the smaller or larger fan sizes, so. Alright, number one in. You don't want these things as tight as they can go because there's just a little bit of rubber on it, so it's made for vibration canceling. So as long as they're in there, then they're good enough. Yeah, and the rest of the fan is upstairs, so we'll just have the two again. Which, I'm sure 2 fans on this giant 360 rad is more than enough to keep this 5900X cool, so. Yeah, that is our case done. I don't know if we have our thing down here to put the front of it on. I guess I'll find it. I see the glass, but I don't know if we have the other bracket part that goes on. Oh, actually, that's not the glass. So, glass is upstairs. So this is how it's going to travel up. Same thing with the back of it. The back is upstairs as well, so. Yeah, that'll be it for that computer. We're on to computer number 2, guys. Actually, you know what? While we're here, let's boot it up. Just make sure we didn't break anything completely when we screwed it in. Plus, we can determine if all of our SSDs are put in there properly and being detected. Where did I put that HDMI cable? Here it is. Yeah, we'll just make sure everything's wired. I guess we can get Windows installing too. The keyboard, though, that would be down here. Plug that USB back in. I didn't check. This does have a USB-C port, right? Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, let's plug it in. Let's see if it turns on again. Ideally. Oh, this cable does not fit, but this is not the normal cable I use. I just stuck this on because it was conveniently right next to me. Normally I have a straight cable. This is from my treadmill, which you can see the edge of it right there. There we go. So yeah, not normal, but let's go ahead and switch this back to our capture card output. Let me see if I can adjust my screen as well so I can see it a little bit at least. I have a Windows USB install as well. So I'll just plug that in. Alright, I'm going to try powering it up with the power button. Make sure that works. And it did. So I'll get the camera set up as soon as it starts installing Windows. I just hope it goes to BIOS configuration. Alright, I see Meg. And really hope that's configurator, not Windows install. Oh, looks like we're actually just going to boot straight up into Windows. I did have Windows on this earlier, on this SSD, so I guess we can determine if it's working, or maybe this is the Windows installer. No, this looks like the just regular Windows, so I guess we can make sure that everything's detected as it should be. Let's get our new 5900X ready. Since we had the 9900K in here earlier, that's the reason I want to format it and install Windows again. Because I do not want the Ryzen and the not Ryzen to be interfering, as they very well could be. I forgot to plug in one of those fans as well, just FYI. No one seemed to have caught that though. Still getting ready. And I don't have actually I do have a Wi-Fi thing I can plug into it. It's not going to be our AX Wi-Fi. But since it's just an antenna, I don't think it'll matter too much. This thing does have 2.5 gigabit Ethernet, which is awesome. I've been looking forward to getting something 2.5 gig wired so my next computers can talk to each other really quickly. Yeah, so we're in Windows. Cool. Let's go ahead and log in, see if it works. Let's see. Yep, there you go. You can see some of my overlay is still on there. Oops. Anyways, we want to check a few things on here. First of all, CPU. Oh man, look at that. Oh jeez, we got everything launching at the same time. No, please. Discord, get out of the way. You're not going to connect. Look at that. Wow. Dust, but wow. 4 gigahertz. But look at all those cores. Alright, let's check RAM. Got 32 gigs, and we got them running at 3600. We got some disks. I hope that's all of them. Let's find out. I'll be able to tell quickly. And we got our GPU. I would hope that would work, since we're seeing stuff. Let's see, we've got our C, D, E, and G. Perfect. That's all of the devices, so it's working. I'll probably do a Windows install off stream then. Because I'll probably leave this running for tonight and then reinstall it after Smite Games once it's working. So yeah, let's go ahead and shut down. Oh, it's all working. That's amazing that it all worked first try, if I'm being honest. Usually those SSDs give me some issues, so that's the main reason I say that. Alright, and it is shut down. Yeah, I'll install Windows when I can see it a little bit better. It's a little bit too hard to see. Cool. Excellent. So let's go ahead and switch back to full cam here for us. There we go. We can all see again. And I'm going to unplug it. I'm going to safely discharge it with our power. There we go. And I want this cable out of the way. Excellent. Oh yeah, we should put our power bar back on as well. Not our power bar, but the bar next to the power. So I think this is this way. See if I can get that to start screwing. Make it this way. Good thing for Crocs. Did not hurt a bit. Let me just get something to hold the screw in place. Let's see, is this... Yeah, it'll work, probably. There we go. Easy peasy now that we're holding it in place with the screwdriver. Instead with my finger. Okay. PC is done. Alrighty. Let's get the next one up here. And like I said, I got the back case upstairs, as well as the front piece. Which is a piece of glass that goes on the front. So we will not be doing that right now. Whew. Okay, that one's a little bit heavy, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. So this one, we're a little bit bare bones in right now. First step, I guess, would be to take wherever this cable is going and unplug it so that it's no longer up above. And there are just so many cables going on here, so it almost needs a full rework, but I don't really have time to be doing that, so... Yeah. I'm going to leave all of my hard drives and a PCIe controller over in a different area, but I'm going to go grab the power supply that we will be using, which is a lot smaller than you guys would think. There we are. It is a very short CX550M. It's really not much, but it is actually all that we need to power this thing, surprisingly. If we do end up upgrading anything in the future, I will go ahead and put the bigger 1000 watt that we have sitting over there, but I need to order new cables for it, so yeah. Because for whatever reason they're not compatible and I can't tell the difference with my eye. But it will safely not turn on if you try to turn it on. So this guy just kind of sits on top of the GPU or their mounting mechanism. Or the power supply, that's the word. Looks like I need to take out a power supply screw here. This might have been in here at one point, and then I took it out and forgot the screw or something, so... Anyways, we'll just replace it back on there, so... Shouldn't matter. Actually, I think it's these screws here. This might be for the radiator. I don't remember. Yeah, a screw is a screw in this case. They're all about the same size, so just have slightly different heads on them. Fan screws, on the other hand, those are a bit different. Okay. So our power supply is a semi-modular. It would be fully modular, but it has the power, like the actually required things on there, which is our CPU and GPU power. And like I said before, you only need the 8 pins. You do not need another 8 pins. So we're just going to be running 8 pins on it instead of the full dealio. So we're just going to run these through our case first. Yeah, the unfortunate part about it not being fully modular is that it makes it a little bit harder to build with. And if those cables go out, you need to buy a whole new PSC. Although, how likely is your cable gonna go out versus your entire power supply. If we're being honest here, not very likely. Okay, so this is our big 24 pin. Actually, before I get going on that, I think I want to mount our radiator back in. Kind of forgot it was totally off right now. So let's go ahead and set it down sideways. Yeah, I've got that same Meg board except Z490 or Z390. I mean, yeah. And yeah, it was this or the top of the line Gigabyte board were the only two that would actually have enough M.2 slots and PCIe lanes. Kind of shocking, but yeah, that is the case here. Let's go ahead and put in our memory first before we go ahead and put in our full water loop. This is, if you remember from the beginning of the stream, this is our Vengeance LPX DDR4. This is a 64 gig kit at 2400 megahertz. It's pretty slow, but it's an Intel system and it's a server, so it doesn't actually really need that fast RAM for what I'm doing. Being a mostly storage, video, and game server, fast RAM isn't super important for any of those. There we go, got stick 1 in. Stick 2 in. Stick 3 in. And here comes stick 4. Perfect. Now let's go ahead and screw in our radiator. If you're wondering what's behind here, by the way, you can actually take it off. It's a pretty tight end, so I won't. But that's just where all the hard drives go. Except for ours will be outside the case. But normally I actually had them in there before I got that little adjuster. And it works very well as a mounting mechanism. So now we just need to figure out what screws. I think this is our hex. Yeah, our hex screw. Yeah, these guys right here. Where did our hex driver go is the other question. That I do not seem to see. Could be underneath the computer though. Let's see. No? Hello, Mr. Hex Driver, where'd you go? I don't see it at all. Oh, yeah, I guess before we get too far as well, we'll also make sure to put in our SSD. Let's not forget about that. And it's probably underneath these with the fans and the other GPU keyboard. Let's see, do we see any hex driver? Got a Frozer. Got my phone here. Yeah, actually I don't see where it went off to. I don't see it on the ground either. This could be an issue. Make sure to keep your station organized as you're repairing or doing any sort of professional computer work. Luckily for me, I am not a professional in this case, so... I see where the box of hex drivers is, but I don't see the actual one that we need, because I took it out. And I did just do a check here. It looks like the bottom of our case is just fine in terms of all that dust filtration, so no need to worry about that. Yeah, I think we'll need that hex driver to put everything back together. Oh, here it is. Perfect. I got it. Don't worry. Issue resolved. And I don't remember if I had these on top or... yeah, I must have had these on top here. And then I have the fans in underneath as well. Let's see, we got 1, second one over here. I'm just doing thumb tight just to get the screws aligned. And then we will screw them in with that hex driver we were looking for so desperately. Kinda nice. The system's actually kind of almost on rails if they're not screwed in all the way. They almost fit the threads perfectly. Dropped one somewhere. I heard it hit the glass and then it bounced off and went somewhere. Way over there. Okay. Yeah, let's still hex one. That's the one. Go. And then two in the middle as well. Man, I am really good at dropping screws today. These screws, I think, are bouncy. It's kind of what it seems. See if I can't get the screw to go in. There we go. Okay, now I can tighten all of them once I get them in the position I want, which I like it right against my other fan here, but not quite touching for vibration, so. Let's go ahead and kind of lock it into place by doing the two corners. There we go. And then that's all four of them, and then we can get the two middle. And they don't need to be crazy tight, but I like them to be tight enough where they're not going to move here. So now we can do our fans, and we can throw them back on the inside, which is great. Excited to not have them on the outside in my case here. Yeah, because they will fit even with that RAM there. However, we won't be getting out that RAM if we do set it there, but that's okay. We're not planning on... Probably if I upgrade RAM, might be moving to a new... Well, I don't know. We'll see. I'm not planning on moving it right now, though. Just get it plugged in before I actually wire it up here, so I know which way the wire needs to go. The harder one will be this one way down here. So this case is actually a pretty deep case. It can fit a pretty significant amount of hardware in here. I mostly chose it because of the sheer amount of hard drives I could fit. Which, no, that isn't an issue. Guess it doesn't matter, but it can seriously fit a lot of hard drives. Is that not going at all? I guess I had to go right on the screw hole, right? Not a kind of a loose thing like before. Did we actually run out of songs? Huh. I didn't think this would go this long. Alrighty, let's restart our playlist here. So should have put repeat 1 on there or something. I know we've gotten it to fit in here, so that's why I'm not super worried that I'm having trouble. Oh, wow, that is really difficult to get in there. Especially at this angle, seeing is a bit tricky. There we go. got to latch on. Actually, just gonna screw this one in a bit deeper than normal for a first attempt. There we go. Okay. And there's another one. And here comes the top one. Okay, now we can screw these in. And just like the other fans, thumb tight, maybe. It's got rubber on them for dampening, for sound, and for vibration. Which, normally vibration in a computer isn't too important, but when you get that many hard drives inside of one, it does get important. Which is another reason I kind of custom built this water loop. I mean, I didn't initially build it as a server, but even then I was still, I was running a lot of hard drives in my normal computer at the point. When I built this i9 system. Okay, we need one more fan now. And I don't remember where we set the fan. It is in here somewhere. And it's a fan, so it shouldn't be able to hide from us for too long. Let's see. Did that one get snuck? Yeah, that one's underneath the computer that time. Okay. Is it still connected? I think it is, yeah. There we go. Fan is out of captivity. We're gonna lay this down sideways again though. I feel like it is easiest to build it sideways. And there's a fan control on the back is what it was hooked up to, but kinda thinking I'm just gonna set them to not be hooked up to a fan controller. If I can find another fan slot easily accessible here. Oh, that's kind of far. Maybe we will hook it back up. Oh no! You know what we forgot to do? Got to plug the CPU power in. We got the ATX routed around. I don't know if we're gonna have room or not to fit it through with the radiator in place. But I guess we can try first, and then if not, we can take it off again. Since it is just one this time instead of two, it doesn't matter what slot you get it into, as long as it goes in a slot. It fit through the grommet. Okay, let's see if I can fit it into a slot here. Hey, it does fit. Even with the, I guess since the fan wasn't in place, that's pretty much what saved us there, is that the fan wasn't yet in place, so. Speaking of the fan, where did I set it when I brought it up? This time it was not underneath. Ooh, stuff's falling. There it is. So yeah, in terms of power for this guy, that is supposed to be for sysfan. I don't think I see another one, so I guess we will probably route it back through there. Through that same grommet that the CPU pin is going through. I'm gonna do the top one here just so I can get it lined up for the bottom. I think I should have done that on the other side. we go. I dropped our fourth screw there, but I can see it, so I can grab it. There we go. There we go. And now we can go ahead and screw that in with our hex bolt. Did it? There we go. It's really hard to screw in here with the CPU cooler right there with my tubing. I might want to just make sure are tight again. Might want to retighten them just after this whole thing. Yeah, I can give them a little bit of a retighten there. They're not in any danger of leaking, but I'll have to loosen. Okay. This way then. And then this one is right next to the infinity mirror that it's got going, so I definitely don't want to scratch it, but I think I'm able to still do a full screw rotation. Yep. There we go. It could probably be a little bit nicer looking, but it overall doesn't look bad here. Now we're going to get in our M.2. Make sure that goes in like so. And then, instead of an M.2 screw, we just use this big thing to keep it down. Which is kind of silly, but especially because of how bad this is to mount. They definitely improved the design in their new one. I will say that for sure. Yeah, that one is just moving the SSD out of the way and not actually screwing down. Let's see. Is this it? Yeah, that seems to be going into place. So hopefully it detects it. If not, then I gotta take it out, put it back in, all that jazz. Next thing we got going for us is our tiny little Radeon guy again. Just gonna stick that in there. I'll give us some video output at least. And then I think I had a screw for it, but I don't know what happened to that one. Oh yeah, that's right, because we used it in our new build, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use this screw here. Which didn't end up getting used. I'm not sure what it was from, but oh well. And this thing is nice. It doesn't need any power. It's not very heavy, so it hardly needs to be screwed in other than for looks. So yeah, I guess we can give this one a try now. This one definitely does not have Windows on it. And I will need to get a different cable to run. Oh wait, no, we didn't run any power except for the CPU. Yeah, jumping ahead of myself there. Gotta run more power first. Not much more power though. It is almost there. It is just our 24 pin. And then we got all these SATA stuff that we gotta do later. And our SATA for this guy as well. Yeah, first priority would be getting that 24 pin one connected. Let's see. Like right there. And it is facing the wrong way. Oh, this is gonna be a really tight run actually. But it does go in. There we go. Alright, and I don't really want to run all the fan stuff right now. I'll do that when I get it over back to the hard drive tower. I just want to test it, make sure we can get power and video out. There is no OS on this right now. It will be running Unraid off of a flash drive stuck in the back, so that's not hugely important right now. What is important is that I find my other cable, because like I said, only DisplayPort, but my capture card only does HDMI, so I got one of those adapter cables. Here we are. Ugh. And you guys can't see it, but on the front of my case it says, "Does this unit have a soul?" And it's Legion from Mass Effect. That's one of his quotes. So this computer's name is Legion. You couldn't tell from that. And yeah, we're gonna see if Legion turns on properly. A little bit quicker of a build for sure. But since it's going to be running huge server software, I'm just going to make sure it powers on and doesn't output to video. I'm not going to configure BIOS and all that during this stream because it's going to take a while and isn't really needed to show it working. I just want to make sure it does indeed turn on. Then I'll get the rest. I guess maybe we could do RAM configuration. Yeah, it's missing most of its hard drives right now, so I'm not going to try to boot it into its normal OS. Where's the... There we are. Ugh. Where did I put the USB for this? Still on the other PC? Yes, it is. It is on, so that's good. Sign. Let's go ahead and switch it over to capture card mode. See if they turn on or not. It's blue and the fans are spinning. Pump is running. Saw a green flash there for a sec. Come on, show me the BIOS. Could be the capture card not recognizing this funky cable too, though. The fan is running. That's good. Let me just make sure there's no postcodes in here going on that are funky. Ah, it looks like it's rebooting one more time. It does reboot a few times before it starts up. I'm not really sure why that is. It's just one of its weird quirks, I guess. Hey, that's something. What does it say? All settings set to default values. Perfect, that's what we want. I think it's doing that reboot thing because it's different RAM. You can see this BIOS looks really similar, right? So let's go ahead and make sure XMP is on here. So we should have 2400 megahertz, but... So just reboot it once here. See what we get. And it's turning on. I just heard it do its little spin thing. Third time. That was kind of weird. Maybe it doesn't like the XMP. If it doesn't, whatever. It's fourth time. Okay, it's really... Alright, now it's stabilized. So we'll see a video in a sec, hopefully, here. Any video, please? Come on, capture card. I knew you did it earlier. There we go. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look like it likes our XMP, which is fine. I don't remember if it was running in the first place, so... We'll go ahead and turn it off. Let's make sure our, Okay, can't turn it off. There we go. Yep, that should be at 0. Got our 9900K detected. I'm not sure if we see all of our, Let's check the board explorer, make sure we got all 4 sticks. Yep, perfect. We got our CPU, we got our GPU, got our front panel, our power, all that jazz. Yeah, it looks like Computer 2 is probably going to be a success, assuming it boots at 2133 megahertz on its RAM speed. And that is partially because the 64 gig kit was meant to be run, is just 2 sticks, not 4. So they determine that DDR profile that way. Seems to be rebooting a lot again. I think we are going to run into the same issue. Maybe I'll try loading defaults, see what it does instead. same thing. Let's say F2. And obviously it won't boot here because, yeah. Perfect. Okay. We'll go with that then. Make sure that once it's loaded defaults, it'll reboot successfully. Ideally, right? Because I would like to be able to reboot this remotely. Yep, there we go. Perfect. That's exactly what I want to see because we are booting off a USB, so go ahead and shut it down here. And I guess that's probably it for the stream. That's all of our computers built. So yeah, I'm just gonna move this over so you guys can see me here. I'll look up to the camera here and say thank you guys for watching. If you like what you see, I guess I don't do this type of stream all that often, but I will be putting in a 3080 at some point, and then possibly maybe upgrading the RAM in this thing. Not quite sure yet. I don't know. We're running pretty close to that 64 gig limit, and I'll be installing another hard drive in here as well off screen. But other than that, I hope you guys liked watching. Yeah, I guess I do these streams every once in a while, but mostly it's gaming on this channel, so please go ahead and check that out. Cool. Thank you guys for watching. You guys can see my X570 Unify screen there. Here, let's turn that off. Cool. Alrighty. See y'all later.